shifted. I stopped expecting Emily to step up. I stopped expecting anything from her. She was still around physically, but it was like living with a ghost. We barely talked, and when we did, it was short and transactional. Do you need anything from the store? Your pills are on the counter. It felt like she was counting down the days until I died, so she could leave without looking like the bad guy. At that point, my focus wasn't on her anymore. It couldn't be. I was too busy trying to keep myself alive both physically and mentally. The treatments were brutal, and my body wasn't bouncing back the way I'd hoped. Every day was a grind, and the loneliness I felt, even with Emily still technically there, was suffocating. During one of my longer chemo sessions, a nurse came over to adjust my IV. She noticed I was struggling to reach my water bottle, and handed it to me without missing a beat. You'd think they'd designed these chairs with actual humans in mind, she joked, flashing a quick smile. I couldn't help but laugh, something I hadn't done in days. Curious, I asked her name. Sophia, she said while still smiling as she adjusted the drip. It wasn't a big moment, but it stuck with me, her kindness cutting through the heaviness like a breath of fresh air. It wasn't a groundbreaking moment or anything, just a simple comment, but it caught me off guard. I hadn't laughed in weeks. She smiled when I chuckled, a quick easy smile that felt like the first bit of sunlight I'd seen in months. After that, I started seeing her more often during my visits. She wasn't always my nurse for the day, but would swing by to check on me anyway. She'd ask how I was holding up, whether the meds were helping, and what I was doing to pass the time. She never seemed rushed or impatient, even though I knew how hectic her job must have been. One day after another particularly draining treatment, she sat down next to my chair during her break. You look like you could use a distraction, she said, pulling out her phone. Want to help me pick a new dog name for my parents' dog? We spent the next 10 minutes debating dog names, like it was the most important thing in the world. By the end of it, I'd forgotten how miserable I felt, if only for a little while. Sophia was like that. She had this way of making the world feel lighter even when everything around me felt impossibly heavy. It was the way she listened. She never treated me like a patient or a checklist when I talked about how much I missed being able to do simple things like cooking my own meals or going for a walk. She didn't brush it off with empty platitudes, she just listened, nodded and said, "That sucks, Ethan, I'm sorry." I don't think I realized how much I needed that. Someone to acknowledge that what I was going through did suck without trying to sugarcoat it or make it about them. The more I got to know her, the more I looked forward to my treatments. Not because I enjoyed sitting in a chair for hours while chemicals were pumped into my body, but because I knew there was a good chance Sophia would be around. At home with Emily, though we were unraveling fast, I stopped expecting her to show up for me in any meaningful way. She'd made it clear where she stood, on the sidelines watching, but not participating. I still remember when during one of the sessions as Sophia adjusted my IV, she said something that stuck with me. You know, it's interesting, she said, her tone light, but her words oddly heavy, how much clarity people find toward the end. It's like, they start to see what really matters. She gave